Welcome to Language and Culture, why we talk the way that we do. First thing that I want you guys to think about is the origin of language. You know, we're all in Africa, we're going, and then all of a sudden that becomes like, you know, it means rock. Linguists, these guys study languages, they think it starts hundreds of thousands of years ago or tens of thousands of years ago. Nobody can really kind of tell. All right. If we think all the languages of the world, we have 15 base languages. If you look down here at this small little picture, we got the mother tree, which is called the mother tongue. And then let's just look at one of them, the Indo-European language group. So that's this one. And if we look at it, you just have all of these different languages that come up. Britannic, Anatolian, which that's really actually quite old. You have the Romance languages, which we'll address. We'll have Germanic. Look at English right there for Germanic. Slavic, Old Iranian, Sanskrit, like Greek, you know, all of these languages come out of this Indo-European. In the world today, we got about 7,000 languages. They die off rapidly also. All right, let's look at Latin, one branch of the Indo-European language. From Latin, you know, and you got to think, this starts in Italy, starts with Rome. The Romans, they expand their empire everywhere, so it gets diffused. And then from that, we get the languages of Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, Romanesque, which I think is for like Romanians or maybe like gypsies. What I want you guys to do is I want you to look up bread. All right, pick any of these two and just look up at how they say it. See the similarities between these languages. Now, accents and dialects. And accents are influenced by our social class and our region. The dialects combine the accent, the grammar, the usage, the spelling, and these are all regional. Think about people from northern Minnesota. Hey, how you doing today? Like that. That is that kind of dialect that people have. Ponder about how people say hello. You know, I was like, hello, hi. Some people down south are just like, hi y'all, how you doing? You know, and then you go to like New York, they'll be like, what's up? That's a bad New York accent. One kind of keyword I want you guys to hammer in on is isoglossies, the boundaries between the dialects. Let's look at a really easy one to think about. What do you call the sugary caffeine drink? All right. If you look off here, you got soda, pop, Coke, right? In the South, you know, you can clearly see the influence of like, yeah, we call it Coke. But then we get up here into Iowa, you know, and it's pop. California, the West Coast, the East Coast, they call those cans of soda. You know, some of the big differences, and all of these areas here, these are the isoglossies. I wonder why, like Michigan, Wisconsin's like that on the East Coast right there. That's kind of a unique little thing. Same with this little spot for St. Louis in Missouri and Illinois right there. All right, languages also spread through diffusion, right? It's not they spread through diffusion. Lots of things can factor into this. Migration, people move from one spot to another. Religion, trade. In the past, colonialism is a big spreader of like languages. Today's world, it's the internet. Some languages, though, are isolated. Mandarin's a good example of this. Japanese is a good example of this. Now, you also have what is called a lingua franca. Make sure you guys highlight this, put a star in your notes about it, all of those little different things. This means common language. It is a language everybody in an area might understand. Think like the country of Zimbabwe. They got like 16 official languages, but they have a lingua franca of English because everybody speaks it. Some other lingua francas, Arabic, Spanish, French, Swahili, and Russian. We're going to address Swahili again. Here's my question to you. English is the lingua franca maybe of the world right now. Why do you guys think that could be? That's something that when we're back in class, I want to be able to discuss with you guys. Let's take a little closer look at English as the lingua franca. As you can see, North America, solid. Little country of Belize, some little islands down here. Then we got this areas in Africa. We have India and Pakistan. We have Australia. You have the United Kingdom area in Ireland. Why is lingua franca the common language in those countries? There's a one-word answer. And it starts with a C. We can discuss that in class too. All right, Pidgin and Creole. All right, Pidgin languages are two languages that come together so that they can communicate. Adam Sandler made a great movie about this called Spanglish, where he had a housekeeper who spoke Spanish. You had his family that spoke English, and they started to kind of communicate together. I actually do this a little bit too. If you think just in my spatial area, my classroom, my home, I have language that is just like I use it to communicate and people know it. I bet you guys have heard me say snot jockey, fart knocker, maybe been like, well, that's a monkey turd. It's a language that is unique to me, but it could actually classify as a Pidgin language. Creole language, let's look at this more in depth. This is a Pidgin language that has been done so much, it becomes formalized. All right, like it actually becomes its own language. Maybe the biggest, most important one that is Swahili. All right, this is in sub-Saharan Africa, and it's a combination of Arabic that came from Northern Africa and the tribal languages that are focused around Bantu, and it was a language that kind of just combined together so as they did trade and different things. You also have Afrikaans, which is in South Africa, which is a combination of Dutch, English, and the Zulu African language. You have Haitian Creole, which is the most lasting dominant one in the Americas. But you have also American Creole. I'm going to play you guys a song to illustrate an example of that. This comes from Hank Williams, called Jambalaya. Language also affects the cultural landscape. Language is connected to a spatial area. If you go to the southwest of America, a lot of those place names, the toponyms, have Hispanic names to them because it's part of that area. But it's also like the area influences the language. Hawaii, they got over 60 words for fishing nets. Eskimos, they have tons of words for snow. And also, like, signs can be bilingual. I used to live in Wales when I was in college for a bit. No entry for heavy goods vehicles, residential site only. This is me doing Welsh. Nid woof in I swafrith ar hein o bryd onfwich urinth waith I u gwen I through. I might not have spoken Welsh in about 22 years. Toponyms, place names are connected to that. Official languages. The U.S. actually has no official language. Please keep that in mind. Iowa, we do. That's English. Some have multiples. I mentioned Zimbabwe. Other countries that have like lots of maybe different tribes have multiple official languages. Canada is one of our closest examples where they have, two. You have French and you have English. And then some have only one official language. What I would like you to do for class is I want you guys to find an example of signage. It doesn't only have to be a road sign. It can be, a sign for any store that has multiple languages to it. If you go to West 4th Street in Waterloo, and you go like right where the overpass is, there's a block that actually has like 3 different languages listed. They have English, they have Spanish, and then they have Bosnian. So, that's an example of where language can impact that cultural landscape. Hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you later.